everyone? Please write in the chat box so that, okay. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm your host for this afternoon, Aman Fatma, and I would like to extend a very warm and a hearty welcome to each and every one of you present here. So how are you all? Write in the chat box. And if possible, please turn on your camera because I really want this session to be very interactive. Fine, great. It's nice to see that everybody are safe. Fine, great. Okay, so I would request everyone to please turn on their camera. Thank you so much for turning on the camera. I hope more people. Okay. So thank you so much for taking your time out from your busy and heavy schedule. And before starting the session, I would like to give a small gist of DRACON. What's that? So DRACON plays a modern role in uprising of the esports community across world. And so with the managing and organizing credited register under lovely professional university student organization cell. And DRACON, as we all know that DRACON has successfully organized various events in collaboration with different companies around the globe. And some of the recent events were Nirvana 2.0, Splitsvilla, EDM, culture events, 2 Parade Fiesta. So I would like to know this from you all, that how, are you all aware of these events, 2 Parade Fiesta, culture nights, about DRACON, that it's an esports community? Yes, okay. Not much, okay. Yes. Okay, so I can see that most of the people, they are aware of our event. Okay, great to see that. So at present, we have Skill Up event, which is a 3-day workshop on interviews etiquettes. And today is our first day. And our speaker for this afternoon is none other than Mr. Sachin Sidra. And the topic for today is how to make yourself presentable in front of the interviewers. And as we all know that it's a very interesting topic because we all are students and we all have to give interviews one on another day. So how we can prepare ourselves, how we can present in front of the interviewers, that is a very important topic. So how many of you are excited to attend today's session? Please drop your appreciation in the chat box, right? Yes, I'm excited. Send some emojis. Yes, me. Okay, super excited. Nice to see. And today I'm very much excited because we are going to gain a lot of information that how we have to present ourselves, because confidence matters a lot. Okay, so on today is 11th of May, and on 12th of May, that is tomorrow, we have Miss Neha Singh. As I have told that we have 3 days workshop. So tomorrow we have Miss Neha Singh, she's a specialized in language training, former recruiters from Wipro. And we all know that Wipro is quite famous for its ethical code of conduct. Yes. And so the topic for tomorrow is types of interviews and setting up your CV according to the company's demand. How we have to prepare our CVs according to the company's demand. That is a very important and that is a very effective and efficient session too. And on third day, that is the last day, on 13th of May, we have Miss Tanvi ma'am. She is an assistant professor of soft skill at LPU. And the topic for that day is what an interviewer look for. And now, write in the chat box, how many of you are excited for today's event? I'm going to give this honor to Sir. Okay, me. Okay. So before delaying, I would like to call our today's speaker, who is associate professor in the Department of Soft Skill at lovely professional university. He's an enthusiastic trainer, a thinker, and educationist, certified NLP practitioner, and an avid learner. And please give a big round of applause for none other than Mr. Sachin Sidra. And sir, the screen is all yours.
Thank you so much, Aman. That was a really energetic introduction that you gave, and you pulled up the energy a big time. So I think everybody is really excited. And I'm going to start this session, but before I start, when we come to webinars, even in workshops, offline mode, I always used to tell the people that I have some rules for my workshop. So the rule number one is interact. Rule number two is interact freely. And rule number three is before you start interacting, tell me your name, because I might not be able to see the Google Meet screen. I would be on the presentation, so might not know your name. So it's better you tell your name. You can unmute, you can drop a message, whatever you feel like. It's your choice. You can keep doing that. Okay. So why did I say interact and interact freely? Because the more you interact, the more you come up with questions, the better I'm able to explain things to you. All right. I don't want this to be a generalized workshop where I tell you, okay, how to prepare for the interview and all that. And then you're like, Arey, this we had heard in the classes as well. What's the new thing? Well, the fact of the matter is we are going to make it new and more exciting, more in depth with your questions. You are the major important resource of this whole session. So it's all about you, and we are going to start. But before that, let me just take you to a very quick story. And the story was about two students that I'm going to tell you. Let's name them A and B. So student A and B both are studying in the same class, both are finishing up their graduation, and both are getting ready for placements. Student B is a person who thinks he's not too confident, who is not too sure of himself, who's not too what I can say is not too comfortable in his own skin. And student, the other one, that is B, that person is hell confident. And whenever there is an interview, the student A is very fidgety, very disturbed, and this and that. And student B, on the other hand, is like calm, composed, normal, cheerful. Hey, hi, how are you, and all that. So one day, student A comes to B and he says, "Why are you always so overconfident?" And he just looks at him and he says, "No, I'm not overconfident." He says, "No, you are overconfident." And the other one says, "No, I'm not." And he says, "Listen, you think I'm overconfident? I'm good with that. You got a problem, deal with it." And he leaves. And student A is standing there, feels so frustrated. And then when the next interview comes, student B gets placed. Whereas it was the dream company for student A. And he lost. What a bad feeling that was. And when after taking the offer letter, student B comes out of the room and he looks at student A, he knew that it's his dream company. He walks up to him and says, "I told you I was not overconfident. But I'm going to tell you a secret how I prepared." So I'm going to share that secret of that preparation that student B did in order to get through in those interviews. And trust me, when we say interviews, oh, it's pure skill. There is no drama in that. It's pure skill. And skills, ladies and gentlemen, can be developed anytime, anywhere, anyhow. It's all you have to decide that I want to develop that skill. Can you see the slide right now on your screen? Anybody who can tell me what it means?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yes, thank you. The slide is not in English. It means victory loves preparation. That means till the time you're not prepared, there'll be no point for you to go and attempt anything in the world. You want to be victorious, there has to be preparation. And preparation, ladies and gentlemen, does not come with conditions applied. It is unconditional, without a second thought, completely dedicated and focused. How? Many people, I'd not take names, but I'd not take examples from somewhere in the world. I'll take it from the university itself. I keep, I've been a part of the university for almost 4 years now, and I've covered a lot of placement drives where your seniors and all, they have been into placement drives. And I often go up to a senior and I would ask them, so where's your tie? And the person would look up to me, sheepishly smile. Sir, I don't have it today. And I tell them, okay, so what's wrong with the socks? Sir, I'm wearing short socks. Now, why am I talking about these very minute things in your wardrobe or your behavior or your dress up? The tie and all these things. It's very simple. It's not, a missing tie that will get you rejected. It's not the improper socks that will get you rejected. It's the impression they will cost you. And every single dent on your impression will cost you your opportunity. As Mehul said, first impression is the last impression. It's not just the last impression, it is the lasting impression. You can make 1,000 more impressions on people, but the first one will always be remembered. Just go back to the best friend that you have in your mind. And when I say just go back to the best friend you have in your mind, the first thing that you would remember is the first meeting you had with them. And sometimes our best of friends, the first meeting is a quarrel, or probably a frosty nose stare, or something like that. And eventually we break ice and we become friends. But we always tell our best friend, the first day I saw you, I thought you were a total idiot. Right? We tell them, and the person says, I felt likewise. And then we start laughing. But imagine that kind of a miscreated impression on an interviewer. Can you afford it? I don't think so. Because that person will not give you a second chance to make the the impression, because they don't have enough time with you. They have limited time. And in that limited time, they have to make it the best, so that they can do their best of decision making for you as a candidate. And trust me, for that, preparation is a must. Now, there are various types of interviews and selection processes that you're going to go through. And I'm going to tell you about preparing or creating the impression for each one of them. And presentability is not just about clothes. If someone says presentability is how you package yourself, I say you are just talking about 40%. 40% of your total packaging, of your total impression is your packaging. And I'll give you a very good example. Walk into any store, any grocery store, and go to the biscuits and chips corner. The first packet of chips that will catch your attention is the Lay's American style cream and onion. Why? Because it is fluorescent green and it is always shiny. And you catch the attention of that color. But honestly tell me, how many of you can eat Lay's American style cream and onion repetitively and religiously every time? Not many. There would be a very few people who have a craving for that flavor. Of course, I am one of them. It's my favorite flavor, but the first time people look at a chip packet, that is the first one that catches their attention. Right? That is the reason why your packaging is only 40% important. That is the external packaging. But it has to go right. That I'm going to talk about later. Let's come to the other part. After opening the packet of that chips, many people eat it, and after 2 or 3 chips, they say, nah, not my style. Not me. I need a little bit, spicy. I need it tangy. I need this. I need that, etc., 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 etc. And then people say, okay, this is not happening. Let's go look at the counter again, and then they see the red tomato tango, and they pick it up. Now, people who love tangy would love that flavor, but people who don't love that tangy flavor would pick it up again, do the same thing what they did with the other one, and then they would come back and say, no, 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 no. Give me that masala blue, Indian masala. And they would start eating it. Why? Because that's something that is the rest of the 60%. And that's what makes that flavor the highest selling flavor in the country. Because it appeases the 60% after opening that packet. And that's what we are looking at. Now, I'm going to talk about the 60% first, then I'm going to come back to the 40% of the external one. So if you can see on the slide, there is an online test that is psychometric test, situation-based judgment, and personality test. This, I would say, it is way deep inside your mind, which is being judged here. Okay, so please don't try to manipulate, or please don't try to copy answers from the person sitting next to you, left, right, or anywhere. Why? Because there is no point. It's your personality that should come ahead. And the first preparation that your first step of preparation that your victory would love is you learn to be honest. Show yourself as you are. You don't need to show that, okay, so I'm sitting for an interview for an Amazon. I'll show them I eat, sleep, breathe Amazon. Not required. I'm sitting for an interview for Google. I'll eat, sleep, breathe Google, and I'll tell it to them. No, not required. If they were to recruit someone who's just like others working at Google, you will never be recruited. If they were to recruit someone who is just like others working at Amazon, you will never be recruited. They want fresh minds. They want fresh ideas. They want people to come across to them so honestly that even if woken up in the middle of the night and asked a question, they answer it in the same way, the way they answered it on their interview day. That's the major part. And that's why these psychometric tests, these evaluations, personality judgments, and everything is given to you. So be honest. That's the only preparation that you have to make. Don't go in the manner that you just read the question and you're like, really, do I do this? I don't even know. Be self-aware. Be aware of your self. Be aware of your choices. Be aware of your decisions. Be aware of your own habits, characteristics, thought processes. That's very important. And those who are aware of this, ladies and gentlemen, they can answer the question, what are your strengths and weaknesses, in a flash. But those who are not, they will think, my strength, and then they will give a cliche answer, hardworking. My weakness, I don't have any weakness. Please don't be cliche. Please be genuine. Please be one of a kind. Please be unique. That's the first thing that you have to do. And for that, your self-awareness is very important. So please note down this point number one, self-awareness. Self-awareness comes by observing your own self, nothing else. You observe your own self every day. What do I like? How do I react to situations? How do I think? How do I talk to people? How do I take up jokes? How do I crack jokes? What are the things that I'm laughing at? What are the things that disturb me? A to Z, everything I know myself. That's self-awareness. And if you are in a point where you think that, no, sir, this is not enough. I need more description. I need more help on self-awareness. I would say go to Udemy. There are many courses on self-awareness available. There are many free tutorials on self-awareness available on YouTube. Go pick it up, watch them. How to be self-aware. They will guide you step by step. Why? Because the self-awareness is not like a 1 minute talk. It is very much detailed. Okay? And if any of you, yes, there are books coming to that. Any of you who are avid readers, I would suggest read EQ, Emotional Quotient by Daniel Goleman. It's available on Amazon. You can buy it, or you can probably, if you're a Kindle person, you can purchase it on ebooks on Kindle, and you can read that as well. Once you start understanding your emotional quotient, you start getting self-aware. Why? Because trust me, the biggest companies in the world to the most prospering ones who are just youngsters now in the industry and will grow in future are looking for people who are not just intelligent but emotionally aware as well. Because by Daniel Goleman. So EQ by Daniel Goleman, that's the book that I would say first. And if you are even more spiritually inclined and you can understand the depths of that book, then Bhagavad Gita. There is nothing more than that. Yeah, right, Mehul. You're absolutely right. So, read the whole, very good. Keep referring to it. It has all the answers in the world, and this is not on religious thing that I'm saying. It's on spiritual things. Trust me, it helps. Believe me, it does. Okay, and the second one. Now let's talk about the second one. The second one is the telephonic interview. Oh, your physical appearance does not matter here. All that matters is your voice. Now you'll say, sir, my voice is not as charming as I think others have. It doesn't require a charming voice to crack a telephonic interview. What we require is how we speak should be very interesting. Now, interesting does not mean you have an American accent, you have a British accent, you have a Swedish accent, you have an Irish accent. No, not required. You just require to be connective. And how do you be connective? You become connective by adding voice modulations, expressions into your voice, and the person should feel. When you are telling something serious, there should be a seriousness expression in your voice. When you're saying something, a little funny incident, which you can use in the answers in the interview as well, they should feel that fun. Okay, they should feel the respect when you give it to them. They should feel the sorrow when you're discussing something about your failures. They should feel the happiness when you're talking success, and they should feel the seriousness when they're talking about a plan. Okay, these are the different kind of expressions that you need to bring them. And most of us, I have this very common thing. I don't know. Probably I had some bad experiences calling some of the youngsters in the past, but I would just say, I've seen people, they would pick up the phone, answer, connect the call, and they would keep it like this and wait for the other person to say hello. And once the other person says hello, they'll say, "Kaun? Yes. All these things. I don't know why. I mean, you can simply say hello, how are you? It's your phone. You've answered the call already. What's the big deal? You're not Akshay Kumar and that person is not a terrorist. Why are you playing that? So you can simply pick up your phone and say, hello, yeah, this is me. Right? Please tell me. And, recently I answered a student's call and it was pretty late, somewhere around 9:30 in the evening. And the student called up and said, hello, Sachin sir, I'm sorry to call, sir. And I was like, then why are you calling if you're sorry to call? You apologize, you're calling someone late, but not in the first line. Get your etiquettes right. First, let the person answer the call, exchange pleasantries, and then you can say, sir, I'm really sorry to disturb you at this moment, but I have this work. So you can start the call by saying, hello, is it such and sir? Sir, good evening. I hope I'm not disturbing you. The person says, no, you're not disturbing. Please go ahead. Sir, firstly, I'm sorry to call this late, but it was urgent. You say that and then you move further. You directly come to the things. Okay? And if someone is calling you, please be very pleasant in your voice. Don't sound like a don who's about to shoot someone. Is it? Many people are, hello. And then I say, yes, this is Sachin sir calling from Department of Soft Skills LPU. Yes, sir. Suddenly the voice changes. They're like, why? Why the first two? Or later, why the change in voice? But we have to understand that we need to keep our own self very focused while we are on a telephonic call, especially in the interviews. Why? Because when you receive the interview call, the HR would call you up and they'll say, hi, this is XYZ person from XYZ company, and is this a good time to talk? And the moment the person says, is this a good time to talk? We are like, what do I say? Some people actually come back and say, yes, what did you say? Can you please repeat? Because we don't have a habit of listening to that question, is this a good time to talk? Practice this habit amongst yourself, at least with your classmates, at least with your friends, and at least with your elders when you call them. Trust me, this is a very good habit. Why? Because the person respects you for your etiquettes. And then when someone asks you the question, you're very genuine enough to talk in the same manner. Okay? And when you are on a phone call where your voice is the only thing, yes, smile of course is important. We will keep smiling. You have to understand one thing. You got to sound fresh. You have to sound fresh. And I know phone calls don't come with a prior warning. The phone does not tell you, I'm about to ring, get fresh. It just rings. So before you answer the phone, it takes 3 rings to answer the phone. The first ring happened. You just do this. Clear your throat once and then answer the phone. Hello. And that's okay. Okay. And throughout the call, be a good listener first. Because to be the best of the speaker in the world, one needs to be a very good listener. Listen, process, respond. That's the way you people do this right. When you listen to someone, would only be helpful, or okay, yes, these kinds of things on a phone call, they help the other person understand that, okay, you're connected and you're listening. Okay? But once the person is done speaking, wait for 2-3 seconds, and then you can straight up start with your answer. But if someone is having hearing problem, you mean to say, Jayant, there is a disturbance in the call? Where is Jayant? He asked a question. So Jayant, if they have a problem in listening to the voice, okay, that you mean to say a physical hearing ailment? Yeah. So I would just say then it would be written in your resume that you are physically disabled, you can't hear, and the person will not give you a phone call. Trust me, it's very clear.
Do not give you a phone call.
Kavita, do you have a question? You have unmuted yourself? Okay. No. Fine. Thank you, Kavita. All right. So they won't give you. Yeah, they'll be giving you a virtual interview where on the feature, if you see in Google Meet also, if you go to the settings, you can have subtitles for what I'm speaking right now. You will see the subtitles if you enable it. Okay, so they can go with virtual interviews for you, or else they will easily find a way to communicate with you. So they will probably write the question on chat and they would want you to speak about it. So you don't have to worry. These kinds of things, they are already taken care of. You don't have to worry about that. Now, moving on to the next one.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, when GD is occurring in interviews, like all the students are like behaving like they are in market. No one is getting chance, giving chance to interact with them. So on that situations, how we have to respond and how we have to loud our voice to
Mhm.
give our
Mhm.
opinion in group discussion.
How many of you agree with this gentleman over here? Give me a yes on chat. So first of all, congratulations, Suri. I would say you've asked a question that many people had in their minds. So I'll answer this question. Well, if you want to make someone listen and they're already speaking, then there are two ways. One, you seal their mouth and you make them listen, which you can't do. So eliminate it. Two, you raise your voice a little higher than them and you catch their attention. And then you come back to normal when you have their attention. It's like everybody is shouting and you start with like, wow, what a discussion we are having here. But isn't that too noisy? Everybody calms down. And now that I have your attention, I would like to say that let's continue the discussion, but in a better manner. Right?
Yes,
So,
sir. But some people are even every before starting the group discussion, the mentor or the group discussion taker giving us a time for thinking about the topic. But some
mhm.
people don't even think about the topic and they directly they just want to start the topic to get the attention of the interviewer or the group discussion taker. So in
I'll
that
tell-
situations, we are not even getting a chance to think about it. So what should we do, sir?
See, so that's where I come in. That's what I'm telling you. When they have started speaking, you can't tell them stop. You're not thought about it. They'll say you're not getting in my mind. I thought already. Okay. So you let them complete, and you can say thank you so much for your point. That was a wonderful one. I would like to take it from here. That's a way to tell them you are done speaking. Zip now. It's me who's continuing. Okay. That's the way you people have to talk. You have to be assertive. You can't be saying, so may I speak my point? Why are you requesting the person sitting next to you, may I? Why aren't you being assertive? I am the one who's going to speak next. There is a difference between aggressive and assertive. Don't be aggressive saying, shut up. I'm the one speaking now. That's aggressive. But assertive person says, oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for that lovely input. I'm taking over from here and we'll come back to you. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say, why aren't we doing that? Who's stopping you from being assertive? This is the 60% that I always feel people don't prepare. They don't talk about preparing their communication. They don't talk about preparing their body language. They don't talk about preparing their eye contact methods. And they don't talk about making people aware of their presence. And therefore, that is the reason why I put the first slide as victory loves preparation. You got to love your preparation if you want to be victorious. And the 60% preparation is not going to happen in one day. It has to happen every day. How many of you know about Abhinav Bindra? You know who he is? Yes. You know. Good. Those who don't know can Google. So do you think Mr. Bindra just won the medal by practicing for like 3 months, 4 months of conditioning camp that government of India gave him? Not at all. In 3 months, you can't even focus on the shortest distance possible. Is that clear? He practiced continuously from one Olympics to the other. Kept practicing, not just practicing on what he has to do. He practiced body balance, he practiced mental stability, he practiced concentration, he practiced so many things. And that's where I'm going to relate this to our interviews. Interviews don't just require you to know answers for interview questions. They require you to have the words. They require you to have the finesse of presenting them. They require you to have the conversation skills. And you can't practice this with mock interviews alone. I'm sorry if I have disappointed someone here, but I like to speak the truth. Mock interviews is only the dress rehearsal of your interviews, nothing else. The rest of the things is to be done by you individually. You need to practice how I'm going to speak. You have to make it your habit to speak like that. You need to practice how I'm going to, assertively communicate with the other person, how I'm going to speak the words, right word in the right place. That is an individual practice. Virat Kohli practices batting in the net, but Virat Kohli does not practice physical fitness in the nets. Virat Kohli does not practice, concentration in the nets. Virat Kohli does not practice stability in the nets.
Sir, how do we practice at home individuals? Means we are not having our friends with us, like we cannot interact with anyone from home, no? So from lots of durations of time, even they might not interested in getting practice. Or so
Who's
how
asking
we
you to
can.
practice? There is no practice. I'll come to that. I'm coming to that only. Hold on, I'll tell you. When you're speaking, to learn the method or the way of speaking or to develop a particular style of speaking, do you think you need a practice session? No, you talk to people in the same manner every time. It is your natural style. Right now, let's take me as an example here. Do you think I have practiced my session? Trust me, I haven't. I made my PPT today morning. Today morning, 9 o'clock, I started making my PPT. 9:15, I was done with it. Nothing else. So whatever I'm speaking with you is coming out naturally. And how is it coming out naturally? Because it's a usual way of speaking that I'm speaking. I talk to people in Hindi, I talk to people in English. This is the way I talk. Right? I use my expressions, I use my hand movements, I use the words right. And to get the word power that you people are saying, there is nothing else apart from reading and listening good content that you can do. You have to read good content. You have to listen to good content.
Hello.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us. Sir, I want to know, when a candidate like us, who has not been able to experience much of interviews physically, whenever we get the call, the first thing what I realize, it is the game of nerves. That you have to first to able to assess the situation that what you need to plan, you need to first control in your nerves and need to control the little bit of worry and anxiousness. So how to deal with it with the immediate excitement and the beat flowing, and how to get command over yourself that this is the situation, so I have to be proactive rather than reactive.
Of course, yes. That's a very good question, Yaman. I would just tell you one thing. It's okay to be a little bit of afraid. There should be fear. And I'll tell you a little good story about this. As a youngster, even I did not think that you should be afraid of anything. I also said I'm not afraid of anything. But then over the period of time, I realized it's good to be afraid. If you're afraid to fall, only then you walk cautiously. If you're afraid of, meeting an accident, you drive carefully. And the fear that you should have in your mind is being afraid of failing the interview. That's when you prepare to succeed. Okay. And where did I get this thing from? So I was reading this one article, and it was about a reporter's interaction with Muhammad Ali. I hope you all know the boxing legend, Muhammad Ali. So the reporter asked Muhammad Ali that why do you keep moving so much in the ring, and why you use the long jabs to break down your contender before you hit the final knockout punch. He says, I'm afraid. I'm afraid that the person will hit me. I'm afraid I might bleed. I'm afraid I might get cut. And that's why I do the first thing. And can you imagine using fear in a more positive way than this? Well, I don't think so. So use your fear, use your excitement in the right manner, not in the wrong way. Don't say, oh shit, it's an interview. Say, okay, let's go, it's an interview. And what are they going to ask you about in the interview? The only thing that they are going to ask you about is you. You are the person in focus. And I answered the question very well. Half of your, anxiety goes down when you're self-aware. The other half is required. You need to have that. Treasure that anxiety. That's really important. I'll simply say, when someone comes up to me and says, okay, you have an interview coming, and I'm like, yes. Why? Because as a kid, I was always fascinated looking at these Bollywood celebrities, sports stars, giving interviews to people. So for me, when I go into an interview, I tell myself I'm the celebrity today. Let's just go and cast an impression. And if you have that kind of a, brazen, raw attitude, and if you can bring that one into you, feel free, use my line. I won't say it's a copyright. Okay. But if you have 1% of doubt also in your mind about your own self, don't tell yourself you're the celebrity today. Because then you would become overconfident. You would try to fake things and never fake things in an interview. Because trust me, the person sitting on the other side of the table is a person who has been prepared to assess people while they speak, looking at them and finding out whether they are speaking the truth or not. They are trained on psychometrics, they are trained on general psychology, they are trained on behavioral understanding, they read body language, and they read your words very, very carefully, even more than you can understand. What to do when self-doubt happens? Try to resolve it. And if the time is not left to resolve it, be honest about it. It's okay to know yourself up to 80%, and it's okay not to know yourself 20%. Because if you know yourself 100%, you're not a human anymore. You suddenly become, what can I say? Divine.
Lucy.
Divine. Not even Lucy, you become divine. So, so nobody wants to interview divinity. People won't hire you if you're divine. People will hire you if you're human. Okay? So it's okay. 20% I don't know myself. That's perfectly all right. 80% I know myself. That's okay. There has to be some part that you should be able to discover later. No? Okay. Now, coming to face-to-face interviews, this is very important. Many of you haven't faced any of that right now, and I'm not sure with changing trends when you would face something like that. But this is never going out of trend. People do talk to each other, meet each other, greet each other, sit in a room, have a closed conversation. And the major part of preparation here in that 60% is your body language. Your body language has to be very, very good. Outstanding. So that doesn't mean that you walk like Sanjay Dutt, Rajnikant, Hrithik Roshan, and then you go, hey, my name is this. No, you don't have to do that. You go up to a person and you show warmth of your personality to them. That's more than enough. A good, confident handshake where both the thumbs are crossing each other. You hold the other person's hand like this, shake it once and leave. A good smile on your face, looking at the person while you're talking, not looking dead into their eyes as if you're trying to hypnotize them, but looking at them. And if you find something very good and you find it worth complimenting, please drop that one compliment to that person. But not in the beginning. You go and meet, oh, you're looking so beautiful today. And the other person is a lady HR. The person will say, okay, you're fired before even you're hired. You don't do that. That's for the end of the conversation. While you're taking leave, you can simply just tell the person while you're leaving, thank you so much for your time. And I've been wanting to tell you this thing, from the beginning when I walked into this room. I find you really looking good with this attire today. That's it. That's it. And you leave. The other person will say, yeah, thank you. You can say, the pleasure's all mine. And you can leave. Whatever. I mean, even men, you can drop a nice compliment to them as well. It's not just that you have to give compliments to females. I don't know what is the problem. People always believe compliments are for females. No, it's for men equally. I mean, you go and meet an HR, he's wearing a nice blazer. The blazer fitting is very good. Or, the shoes, yeah, of course, if you can see their shoes. Or the person has a very heavy and a very, unique kind of a voice. Something that attracts you to that person when, the person starts speaking, it takes all your attention. You can say, I must compliment you that you have a very nice voice. Or probably if a person is looking like an army man, but it is a corporate person, right? So you can say, I really can say that, if people don't know who you are and you're working for the corporate, they would think you're an army man. right? See, these are the things that you can tell people. Mild compliments, body language, and till the time you're in conversation with that person, don't ever close or crunch your body. Don't slouch. Be confident. Sit as if you mean business. I'll give you a very small tip. Usually when the HR is interviewing you, they put your chair like a 2-3 feet away from their table. Why? Because they want to look at your feet. Some people draw their feet under the chair like this. Some people just keep their toes facing outside. Some people keep their toes facing inward. Some people like to keep a foot on a foot or a leg on a leg. Right? I'll come to that question. It tells a lot. If your toes are pointing away from the person who's talking to you, that means you're not attentive. If your toes are drawn backwards, that means you're underconfident. If your toes are drawn inwards, it still means underconfidence. If you're sitting with your leg on your leg, it means that you are nervous, but you're trying to hide it desperately. Okay, legs spread out means overconfidence. So how should your foot be, or how should your feet be? It should be straight, 90 degrees angle being made, right? While you sit on that chair, and your toes should be pointing at that person's direction. And let me just tell you a small psychological fact about this also. When you're talking to someone and your toes are pointing towards that person, automatically your entire attention is towards that person, and you do a very good conversation. Try doing this sometimes. You'll realize that it is better. Okay? This helps. All right. Now coming to the question of the online interviews, is body language important? Oh my God, it's very important. You feel like giving an interview right now? Don't worry, Dipanshu, you'll get enough opportunities to give an interview. All right, so focusing on your body languages in the online interviews, it's very simple. You just have to focus on your facial expressions, your eye contact. Look at the camera. Please have good facial expressions. Please make sure that you are you're not showing any signs of nervousness, like fidgeting with your hands, rapid eye movements, etc., etc. Smile is like in the entire process of communication, smile is like basic requirement. You can't excuse not having a smile anytime. And you don't need to have that Colgate smile. Just a mild smile would help, a pleasant expression, right? You don't need to show them that, oh, I brushed my teeth today. Of course, yes. In an interview, Dipanshu, when a person walks in an offline interview, everything is checked in the first 30 seconds. So a complete scan from top to bottom and bottom to top is done by the HR. Okay. Yeah, while entering into the room, everything is checked at that time. What did Ali say? My God, the messages are so slow. Okay, if the interviewer asking questions, then should we smile or what should be our facial expression? Do you think when someone is talking to you, you'll be like, no, you'll listen intently. Mhm, mhm, mhm. Okay, so you asked me this thing. Let me give you the answer to this. You smile after you are done listening to them. You only smile sheepishly when someone is talking to you in two conditions. One, you're madly in love with that person. Two, you actually have no idea what the other person is saying, and you're like, बोल लो जो बोलना है, समझ मुझे कुछ नहीं आ रहा. Yes, you should nod. Of course, you should nod, but not like this. Simple, like one nod, two nod. That's it. All right, no rapid movements anytime. That's a no. Okay. Now, when there is a panel interview or there is a number of people sitting to take your interview, you need to know that who's asking the question, and first address should be towards that person. So let's say it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people sitting. The person sitting in the extreme left corner asked you a question. You can't be looking at the person in the center or in the right while answering the question. The first eye contact has to be extreme left, and then you can look around. Okay. And in a group interview, it is simple that an entire group of students are given a question and they have to answer it cumulatively by discussing it. All it is about is teamwork. So you have to be polite, you have to be assertive, you have to be open, you have to be willing to take criticism also, and putting everything moving towards the goal. That's group interview. There is an advice that you need to drive and decide the course of interview. How is it possible? Why is it not possible? Why is it not possible? I think I have a few of my trainees in this session, and they would never disagree with this thing, that we as candidates can drive our entire interview if we know how. And the only way to drive your interview is putting the first foundation question right. That is the introduction. Stress on the areas that you want them to see. Stress on the things that you want them to notice. And the next question is coming up from that only. Is that clear? Like most of the time, every person has a strong area in their candidature. So use that strong area, no? But don't pick that strong area like my projects or my this or my that. No, they're not interested in your projects in the last round. They are interested in you as a person. Talk about your persona, your personality, your own self, not academics. If I even ask someone right now, okay, what is special about you? If there is a computer science engineer sitting in this session, they'll say data science. What is data science special about you? Is your personality data science? No, it's an academic skill. Leave it apart. You are done testing your academic skills in the previous rounds. This is about you. Give me your speciality. Take the CSE away from you. Put yourself as a person and now tell me what is special about you. The person is blank. I don't know.
Sir, can anyone tell his personal life experience to describe that thing?
You have to. That's exactly my point. Share your experiences. Tell them that it's not just studies that you have done in the 20 years of your life. You have done a lot more. You have learned a lot more outside the classrooms. You have done 1,000 events. You have done 100 courses. You have done. You've met so many people. You have learned from it. You've played sports. You have been into cultural activities. You have done many things. That's what is to be shown. It's not about your academics only. You're not giving your post-graduation admission interview that they'll ask you about your academics and they'll be like, okay, this guy wants to do an MS and he's a very good BTech, so let's give him a chance to do MS. They are hiring a human being. Educational qualification was the basic criteria that was assessed in round 1, 2, 3. It's done. Tell them what kind of a human being are you. Are you a match for their human resource? Because they would not hire a non-matching human resource. They would hire matching human resource. People who think in the same manner as the company wants them to. People who, people who when required can gel with each other. People who when required can collaborate, criticize, and still give results to the company. That's what the preparation is all about. And this preparation cannot be done in a class, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about you. You got to do it on your own. Only thing that you can take from us is the guidance. I always tell this to many people. What is the balance between arrogance and self-confidence? Okay, I'll come to that, Geeta. Just give me one moment. When I say it's all about you, ladies and gentlemen, there's no doubt about it. Why? Because it is your job. It is your career. It is all you. And if you show the company that I am the candidate that you're looking for, you get hired. If you're not showing that you're the candidate, you're not getting hired. You're just a candidate who gave the interview. Okay? Now, coming to the difference between arrogance and confidence. Arrogance says, I make my own rules and I don't care who rules the world. Self-confidence says, it doesn't matter who rules the world. I'm the next one coming in line. Do you understand that? Arrogance is not taking something, taking a positive route. Arrogance has no ethics, no values. Self-confidence comes with ethics, values, focus, dedication, determination. Arrogance is raw, animalistic ego who just says, I don't care who the other person is, I am the best. Self-confidence says, oh, I'm good. The other person is also good. So I'm going to make myself better. That's the difference between self-confidence and arrogance. And one more element that self-confidence brings to you is acceptance of errors, acceptance of mistakes. That is very important. Dipanshu, I just think he's aggressive. He's not arrogant. He's aggressive. And it's okay to be aggressive at times. Well, no comments on that one, Mr. Ranjan? Not at all. Because I thank you so much for that compliment. What if the interviewer points out a fault in you or in your CV and makes a statement that you are uncomfortable? How to handle that situation? That's the first thing that I said, Harjap. Accept it. Accept it. Accept it. First thing, accept it. Oh, thank you so much for bringing that to my notice. I will surely correct it. That's the first step. Saying, oh, I must have given you the wrong CV. No, this is not my updated CV. Covering it up, that's underconfidence. And the person says, oh, you have a mistake in your CV. I know, but I'll still give it to you. I wanted to see if you can find it out. That's arrogance. Okay. All right. So Himanshu say, what to do when there is an annoying interviewer? Show them your patience, Vaishnavi. What else can you do? The person is there to give you a job. Do you think you can tell them to be not annoying? And trust me, there is nothing called an annoying interviewer and a non-annoying interviewer. It is always that people should understand that interviewers play something in front of you because they know your job requires it. Okay, and they're checking you for that. Himanshu says, I'm not here to compete, I'm here to rule. I decide this when I wake up. This is Is this arrogant or confidence? This is upfront arrogant. I'll decide when to wake up. Who the hell are you? Not even the Son of God can decide when he is to wake up. He has to wake up with a, proper timeline. Okay, so while starting the virtual interview, what was the expression you will notice you'll see in the candidate if I was the interviewer? Well, the moment the candidate's camera flashes, I would first look into the way the person opens the video source with a kind of expression. That tells me the real story. That's a flash of a 3-second expression. People usually do this. Good morning, sir. But the person who is confident with the entire process of virtual interviews, they'll open the camera like, hi sir, good morning. That's important. That's what makes the deal. Okay. Now, you have to practice hours and hours before you get your 5 minutes to fame. That means your interviews. And that practice will continue usually in your daily life. You talk to people in a certain manner. You want to build word power, read, listen to good content. You want to make yourself comfortable, stand in front of the mirror, talk to your own self. The most difficult thing is to look at your own face and talk. If you can do that, you can do anything. You'll miss 1,000 times. But eventually you'll hit the bullseye. Okay? Don't worry about that. Okay, how much this can go wrong? Sorry, I don't know the answer. Can this statement backfire? Only if you have been saying this very frequently. Once in a while, it doesn't. It's okay because they are recruiting human beings. Out of 10 questions, if the human being says, I know 8, I don't know 2, they are okay with that. Because there is something called love your imperfections. And it's okay. What are they going to train you on if you know everything? Right? And why do you have to say sorry? I don't know the answer. Please say, well, that question caught my tongue. I actually don't know the answer to this, but I'll surely research about it. Why apologize? Is he a school teacher? Are you giving a viva? I mean, I never understood this practice of apologizing in the interviews. The only time I'd like to use sorry in an interview is when I'm not able to hear someone very clearly. I'm sorry, I'm not able to hear you. That's what I'm saying, Himanshu. That's the practice that we have to bring. That when I look at myself in the mirror, I should look at it and say, "Yay, how are you, buddy?" Not like, oh, my brow is not proper. Oh, got a pimple here. I don't notice things unnecessarily. I focus on what I'm doing. That's why looking at your own face and talking is the most difficult thing. Can we teach anything as important can we say teaching as an important point about myself in interview? Yes, we can, but only if you are attempting an interview um, for a trainer's position. Right? You can say it as one of the important points, not the most important point. Until and unless you are being interviewed as a teacher, of course, yes, then you can, or a trainer. Right? Or else you can use the word help to learn. I can help people to learn things. All right. Now, someone asked me, can we tell our real life stories, experiences? Yes, you can and you must. But not too personal. There is a conditions applied in this one. Don't get too personal. Keep it related to your school, your college, your friend circle, a little bit, about your own self, but not too personal. That someone is not there, no one is there to listen about your personal stories. Okay. What should you say when the interviewer asks how much salary are you expecting? Well, that is a simple thing. You have to research the industry profiling on that job profile and what kind of a salary is offered. And you say that the industrial trend for this kind of a profile in an organization of your size is this, and I'm expecting something you match the industrial requirements or the industrial standards. Well, like someone says, okay, can you give me an example of your dedicated nature or your dedication? So if you're a sports person, you can simply talk about one of your events where you practiced really hard. You can simply talk about one of the experiences where you had, where your dedication helped you overcome a problem. That's the story you can tell. Okay. Can you tell me about a time where you handled a stressful situation? Don't talk about someone you lost someone in the family and all. These kinds of personal stories not welcome. Okay, some people are really very emotional. They don't take things right in that manner. Handled stressful situations could be multiple assignments given to you, your friend asking for your help, whereas you have your own work to do. You can do that, right? Okay, sir. What is the one thing I find? What one thing I find hard in video interview to see is lens, not screen. It's okay. You look at the screen also. Not a big deal, beta. You can look at the screen, but try to look at the top of the screen, just under the camera. That's something that I would always suggest. Yes, you can do weight loss on dedication. What are the common interview questions and what is the best possible way to answer them? You can Google what are the common interview questions and answers. You can't take my answers. because my answers are only my intellectual property. They are my experiential rights. Build your own answers. That's what I would say. Because what you will answer, I'll not answer the same, and what I'll answer, you will never answer that. Okay. Then if we don't know the answer, what to do in that situation? You can simply say, I'm afraid I don't know the answer to this question. Or that question really caught me by surprise. I'll certainly research after this. Tell about your skills, your personality, your growth as a human being and as a professional. That's the perfect answer for this, Ayush. All right. So I think with all this, we can call it a day, and we can say, okay, there's one more question, sir. When interview is asking why should we hire you? Then what kind of an answer he's expecting? Match the answer to your job profile that is given to you. Why should we hire you?
So give us an example in your way.
Okay.
We are
So let's
we are
say,
not meant to be copy your answer, but we can
Right.
grab something from that.
Of course, yes. So let's say you guys are willing to hire me as a trainer, and you're taking my interview. So why should I be hired as a trainer? You should hire me as a trainer because I'm energetic. I come with a diversified knowledge, and um, I come with a set of skills. Wait, hold on, just a second. Let me put my laptop on charge. Yeah. So why should I be hired as a trainer? Well, you should hire me as a trainer because I come with a huge diversified experience across various industrial verticals, and I come with a mindset of training people not on the basis of their needs, but to create a permanently derived solution for training. I look into the matter in depth, and I talk about thinking beyond bookish education. And that's where I believe that I should be hired as a trainer. Now, I hope that answer was, you know, sufficing or satisfying enough. All right. So I have told them why I should be hired as a trainer. Right now, I had a few more questions. Let me just answer them. How to address a situational question? Situational question. Give me an example of a situational question. Anybody?
Like, sir, if you are having a two, sorry, sir, like
Good.
if you're having a two persons to interact with, like one is so rich and one is so economically backward, and you have to sell a course or some product to them. One is a rich person is very angry and the other person is very polite. So whom you will choose to interact with, and how you are going to approach them?
Well, it's about selling, so I'll interact with both of them. First, I'll ask the rich person why is he angry. I'll try to find a solution to his anger, and then I'll try to sell the course to him. And since the other one is polite and economically humble as well, I would tell him why he should buy the course and how it can change the future for him, and how can he benefit out of making that investment. And if the person is still saying that the investment is too steep for him, I would not push that person. That's my way of working. So it's all about presence of mind, people. It's all about presence of mind. You've got to have this bulb glowing in your mind all the time. Okay? How to express our failures in a positive manner? You can't express your failures in a positive manner. You can tell what you have learned from your failures. You can't express your failures in a positive manner. A failure is a failure. If you were the PM for one day, what would you do? I would extend my term to 5 years because I can't do anything in one day. I need some time to understand the system first.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, another situation can be, suppose somebody calls me for a physical interview, and somehow at the last minute, suppose it is a city like Delhi, I reach to the place after struggling in metro, and suddenly I get a call that you have to reach at another place. I am sorry, this interview cannot be taken at the appointed scheduled place. So the composure in mind, the planning, the mindset, how to balance yourself. Oh shit, I have to reach there. The instinct reaction would be, oh shit, I have to do. Okay, sir, I will. But how to compose yourself and reply to that, and how to take the plan
No,
of
this
action with a
first
balance.
things first. This is a suggestion to all of you. Get this oh shit thing out of your mind. Instead of oh shit, replace the phrase with okay. Oh, is it? Some more suave or politer words. Oh shit is just like so slangish. And you guys, we don't do slangs in corporates until unless we want to demean the other one. Okay. So this happens. I think Yaman, you've come up with a very good question. This happens, and this has happened with a few people I know, and they're like, "Okay, so you want me to come to this place, and I would need another, an hour or 45 minutes to reach there because I'm using public transport." The person says, "Okay, so you can't come early over here." Person makes a logical argument by saying, I'll try my level best, but what Google Maps says is an hour or 45 minutes to reach there. So you'll have to give me that much of time. Simple as that. And whatever it is, after hanging up the call, you say, oh shit, oh BS, oh big BS, whatever. It doesn't matter, but not on that phone call. We all feel that rage in ourselves when something goes wrong, but not to show that is the main thing that we have to do. Okay? So we got to control ourselves and we got to keep ourselves very much composed. Be like a duck, paddling ferociously underwater, but calm and composed on the surface. That's something that will help you great deal. And that's what is called presence of mind. Okay? Anything else? This is the last thing from my side that you have to prove to the organization in the entire interview. I'm an asset to anything I'm involved in the organization. And this will come with your answers with the way you do it. Now, I'm sure you are very much aware of how to dress up for an interview. Is there anyone who has a doubt with how to dress up for an interview? No? Great. The only thing that I would say is, I would give you reasons why we have to dress up in a particular manner. We wear a light shirt and a dark trouser, any color. I would say when you're wearing light shirts, wear any pastel shades. White is not the only important shirt, but white is the most preferred one. I would say blue is the best color. A light shade of blue that you can wear. Pastel color. And with a nice tie. Avoid wearing red ties. Wear any other types of tie, but not a red tie. That's something that I would say. Why? Because red ties are authority ties. Your ties color has a significance. Black, if your trouser is black, wear a black tie, no doubt about it. Um, if your trouser is gray, you can wear a gray tie, you can wear yellow tie, whatever you want, but try to wear a nice tie, something that looks rich. Don't wear those thin pencil ties. Wear a nice tie which is at least this broad, about a 3 inches broad tie. Okay. Yes, blue tie works, but if it is a light blue shirt, it has to be a dark blue tie. Okay. Blue ties do work. I love blue ties. Trust me. Personally speaking, it's my favorite color of tie. Then, be it a gentleman or be it a lady, your hair should be away from your forehead. Please make sure you do that. Okay? Hair away from the forehead, clean off the face. And you should be very neat and tidy to look at. Blazer, black, blue, gray, brown, anything that you want to wear. Okay? There are only 4 or 5 colors that you can wear into the office. You can't wear a maroon colored blazer to office, no? Or to interviews. It has to be a black, blue, gray, brown, simple 2-button business suit. Okay, no 3 buttons, no double breast and all that, nothing. Simple 2-button blazer or a suit. And make sure that when you're buying a suit, you check the blazers fitting very nicely. Blazer is optional as per the weather. Yes, you're absolutely right, Shreyansh. It's totally optional. But I would say don't make ties optional. Okay, ties are a must. It helps you look more presentable. Right, so always wear a tie. That's very important. For girls also, I would say if you can wear scarves, you can wear a scarf inside the collar, you can wear a scarf under the collar, the way you want, girls, but wear a scarf. It keeps you relaxed, because you then are very sure that even if you bend a little while talking to someone, there is no wardrobe malfunction happening. That can be easily done. Okay, so scarves are also good. Yeah, I didn't wear a tie today because it was just like 2 hours thing. So I said, who takes out a tie? Let's not wear one today. But yes, in campus, you'll always find me with a tie. There I have to be looking professional. But yes, if I were in classes today, I would be wearing a tie from morning to evening, even at home. Because it doesn't matter, I'm taking classes from home. Yes, I do wear red ties. And some of my students really say, sir, when you wear a red tie, I know, Ali, I know. So they they tell me, sir, it looks dangerous, when you wear a red tie. But for me, I wear red ties in the best of my moods. I like wearing red ties. It's nice to wear a red tie. Sometimes it looks cool. Okay. And last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, it's always good to be the candidate, not a candidate. Because a candidate is the one who got rejected to make way for the candidate who got hired. Okay. And with that, I come to the end of my session. I hope you guys had a good interaction. You got a good, input from my side. Over to you, Eamon.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. It was a very informative session, and I really want to extend a warm, sir, like you have taken your time out from your busy and heavy schedule, and it was a very informative session. And some people has I've given you the title of Virat Kohli. You look like Virat Kohli. Thank you, sir. And in the last, as you said, that always we don't have to be a candidate. We have to be in the candidate, which is most important. And like, so before winding up the session, I would like to give a small information that Dracon is pleased to inform you that ESI and EUSAI are organizing the Northern Division of Esports Tournament 2021, that is CSGO. And it gives an immense pleasure to invite you all to participate in this championship tournament. And I would request any of the Trackon family that please send the registration link in the public chat. If anyone wants to register, you can go and register. And with the e-certificates, you are going to get the prize money, and the prize pool is rupees 50,000. Thus, there are certain terms and conditions, and the winners and runner-ups from the Northern Division will compete at the national conference for a grand prize pool of rupees 2 lakhs. And it's a great opportunity for everyone who plays CSGO game. And just thank you so much, sir. It was a very informative session. I am honored that you came here and you have shared a lot of information. Thank you so much. And to all the people, thank you so much for watching our live so patiently. And just be at home, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thank you,
you,
everyone.
bro. Thank you, ma'am.
very small announcement. There is certain technical glitch going on YouTube channel, and people are not ready to fill that the registration form. So the link of the registration, the feedback form has been done on the bio. You can go there and you can register. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. I just have to make one small announcement that yes, there are certain technical glitch going on YouTube. People are not the registration form which you have got for the feedback form. There is certain problem in filling. So the link of the registration feedback are in the bio section of Dracon official page on Instagram. You can go there and you can fill it. Thank you so much.